Fusebox back on Raid Shadow Legends, and we're going to talk about Lydia. We are going to dive into her, but I also want to talk about how to get her. There's a lot to go over there, so we'll kind of generalize that. So kind of stick through it. She's the prize for beating all the faction wars, and I'm going to show you the heroes I used, and it's more about the formula, not the exact heroes, but most of them are not that impressive, the ones I actually got through it with. So just kind of get you motivated to push faction wars as this new year begins. It's something to look forward to because Lydia is a game changer for sure. So a lot of times I build a hero in very average gear. She's going to be in really good gear. She's going to be in solid gear because she's too good. She's too good. By the time you've beaten all the faction wars, you're going to be able to pick some heroes and put them in really good gear. So we're not going to kind of half-ass show her off. She's really, really good. She's got wings, and I've done the math. The science is in. In Raid Shadow Legends, if your hero has wings, they're amazing. When you're pulling shards, just be looking for wings. Like Lydia, Cardiel, Tomb Angel, I really think she's going to be solid on the Hydra boss. I'm trying to get her ready to test her out. Ninja, Lix, Astralon, Godseeker. I mean, even the new guy, Tatura, all of them have wings. If you've got wings, you are golden. You're ready to go. But anyways, let's get back to Lydia. We can talk about what she does. It's so much. It's so much. We'll have to do this as quick as we possibly can. This is an A1. There's a book and a half about an A1, right? It does guarantee to put a fear. Absolutely great. You're going to want accuracy. We'll kind of keep up with all these things. It has a chance of increasing the duration of poison sensitivity. She is a clan boss viable hero. She's viable everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. All right, so it also has a passive effect. It so attacks enemy champions with this skill whenever they place a stun, freeze, true fear, petrification on your any ally. She'll just automatically get an A1. So as somebody tries to control your team, she just throws a fear on them. And with a decent hit, mine's not built out for damage, but I did put damage into her build, so she's doing as much as possible. We'll look at that in a minute. So this A1 pretty much goes on and on. For an A1, it doesn't get much better than this, just to constantly be doing something for your team. All right, so A2, Siren's Will. This is it right here. She attacks all enemies, a solid attack. She breaks her defense. She puts down weaken. And then for your team, she throws up strengthen and increases speed. The big version of all of these. This is one of the best moves in the game. Hands down, one of the best moves in the game. She's becoming your support champion. She's becoming your debuffer. She's doing everything you can imagine out of one hero. All in one move on a 3-turn cooldown. Definitely get ready to spend some time pushing these faction wars, and I'm going to help you out. All right, so and her A3, this is really undervalued. This is why I use her so much in Doom Tower. She comes back around and has yet another way to control waves. It's a 2-hitter. That's good. You can bring her almost anywhere you want. She's got enough hits to be viable anywhere, even Fire Knight. But the first hit is guaranteed. All this is guaranteed. You do want to book her out. We're talking about by the time you get Lydia, no more joking around. You need to book her out. You need to gear her out, right? But she can place poison sensitivity, place block buffs, and block active skills. She can just lock out another enemy for 3 rounds. 2 rounds. Yeah, 2 rounds. Absolutely great. I think my masteries are why it's 3 rounds. Not done yet. When you kill somebody, you can block revive without having to do anything. Anybody can kill them, and it blocks revive. It also denies the enemy revive attempt when they try to revive them. This works even if the champion is dead. So, somebody's dead, they try to revive them. She blocks that. It does have a cooldown. It's 7 turns. It's a long cooldown, but it's kind of overpowered if it wasn't. If this champion is alive when an enemy is blocked their revive, then it revives all dead allies with 50% of their health and turn meter. This is niche. Then it grants an extra turn instead if there are no dead allies. But I have played around with goofy teams, and when you get on Ice Golem, the entire team can die, and it will just bring them right back from when you block a revive. It's ridiculous. It's very niche, though. It's not something you want to count on. If this champion is dead when you block a revive, it revives her with half of her health, half of her turn meter, and it will not. This will ignore block revive. It's just absolutely a gross passive. And then this aura, all in arena battles, 100 resist. If you're building a go second team, that's going to smash after taking some hits and you need resistance, this is as good as it gets. This is as good as it gets. She is amazing. I do use her in arena. I use her everywhere. Let's look at, okay, how do you want to build her out? Her entire kit is begging for you to give her accuracy. So get her over 300 accuracy. Don't mess around until you're over 300 accuracy. Perception is going to be your best friend when you're doing a lot of these high end builds. So she needs speed. She's a debuffer. Many times you're going to want her to be the first to go on the team. So you're going to want to get her fast. You're going to need, those are the most important, accuracy and speed. After that, you definitely want her to stay alive. You're going to want enough HP to stay alive. You're going to want enough defense to stay alive. And then you're going to need speed, accuracy, and then you can even start putting damage on her. You can start working towards putting damage on her, but you kind of want it all. She's worth it. She's worth it all. Masteries there. All right, there are gonna be a few places you use her the most, I imagine. I'm just gonna show you my build because she goes all over the place. Like the Frost Spider, she can automatically block his revive, so I've never gotten to use her on that, so this will be my first chance doing that. But I use her on bosses, I use her on waves, I use her everywhere. So I went with War Master for extra damage against the bosses, against any bosses she comes up against. There's a million ways to build her out. A million ways. She's definitely viable in all of these. You could kind of do the defense support tree. That would be make her a better support hero. But I want it all. I want it all. So this is where I went. Basically, this is going into War Master and trying to keep her doing some damage. Nothing crazy, but it does seem valuable enough to me. I did take extra accuracy. I did take Lore of Steel because you saw that perception gear, a little bit extra speed, a little bit extra accuracy. I definitely like this. She's going to have a chance to increase her turn meter whenever a buff that she casts a lot of buffs, wears off or expires. That's going to happen a lot. You could even take Arcane Celerity, which is something I'm actually toying with in my head. I think I could do without Swarm Smiter, and I could speed her up even more by her debuffs wearing off as well as her buffs. So that's something that I'm keeping in mind. Cycle of Magic just keeps her going back around to all her A2 and her A3 are so valuable each, especially in like hard Doom Tower waves, that I want them coming back as much as possible. Lasting Gifts, those buffs are amazing, right? Strengthen, you want that to last as long as you can. Same thing Master Hexer with her debuffs. To be honest, I don't know if I have a free reset. I'm going to put it the way I'm talking about. Be right. There we go. If I were going to pick in the support tree, this is definitely the coolest way I think to go. I mean, that's a ton of speed. Turn meter just constantly going up. But basically no difference. I just moved this mastery over to here so I could come down and get both of these. Anyways, definitely an excellent way to build her, but don't have no fear. Think about what you need. If you're wanting more resistance, if you're wanting more defense, you can definitely take this tree. Your last masteries, there are so many good masteries. So many good masteries. It's hard to choose sometimes, but I'm finding more and more with a lot of the content coming out now that I need War Master to kill these bosses faster. So it's kind of a lot of my heroes are landing there these days, unless they do just amazing amounts of damage to where Helm Smasher can kind of outweigh War Master. But her build, nothing. This is well. Let's see what I put her in. I actually put her in an attack chest. Let me kind of show these stats again. I got decent defense. She's got decent HP. So I went ahead and bumped her attack up so that she does some damage. Not a damage build, just the attack's going to outweigh, because I didn't go crazy with crit damage. That means the attack is going to outweigh the crit damage at this point. So I went ahead and put her in an attack chest. But you notice it has a defense roll with a lot of speed, a little more crit damage. It kind of did a lot for me. It's a weird piece of gear that worked out well. I put her in HP gloves, but I did get a lot of speed out of them, and I was able to still... This is where I was trying to decide. Do I go damage or survivability? And to me, the compromise was get her crit rate decent, and I'll focus on down here on crit damage. Nowhere else will I really focus on it. So I went with survivability and speed more than anything else, but I tried to build the damage up as I went. This isn't rolled up. Can you believe what the heck? Anyway, speed, crit rate, defensive stats. This is the speed is the only reason I took this. It did have crit and crit damage. It's mainly looking for that speed. She's got to be fast and in perception gear. It shoots you where you need to be. So let's just real quick show her off because I want to talk about getting her too. Where in the world? So Doom Tower just reset. It is the Frost Spider. She will definitely be a big part of beating the Frost Spider. There's not a whole lot to show off in here other than what she does on waves and blocking revives. Okay, so to watch what she does in all of her glory. Her first move does the full debuff, which you need for Seer on these harder waves. She also gives us 2 buffs that Seer can rip off. If we weren't bringing Seer, she's still doing the same thing. She's keeping you alive and killing them all in that first move. So we've debuffed everybody. We're putting all of our buffs up now. And then we're just going to rip those off, kill the wave. And then we're set up the way I'm set up because of Renegade. I don't have Kymar. It will go 1 turn with the reset, and then we'll just do it all again. It's absolutely gross. She sets you up to get to the boss in a matter of seconds instead of minutes. So here we've reset our cooldowns. And then we just do it again, and then we go to the boss. And all we got to do is kill the boss with poisons. That's why Battle's here. Seer will probably do some damage to him before it all comes around. But this is all so much easier with somebody like Lydia. If you're having trouble getting your Seer to work on stage 25, her build gets tougher and tougher the further you go. But somebody like Lydia makes it much, much easier. So that's her use. Let's just zip through this boss, and then we'll talk a little more about her, and then we'll talk about getting her.
To the billionaires and the trillionaires, I'm gonna take what's mine. Overcome by something oh so dangerous. Someone sleeping in the bed we made for us. In this modern circumstance, I feel no trust. It's not okay.
All made possible or made much easier by having Lydia. That's a much faster fight when Dragon actually kills a few people. We got speed and HP. Okay. So also remember, it's not up right now, but the Frost Spider, it's just a guaranteed, you don't need an HP burn or anything. I still would bring an HP burn, but you don't have to worry about it being up at the right moment. She makes sure that he doesn't revive. Same thing on Ice Golem. It pretty much guarantees that the first ad you kill will not come back. And then if it lasts long enough, the second ad will have the same issue because Lydia's just on your team, just being on your team. That's absolutely great. And she's going to protect your team and debuff any team you go against. She's Void. Doesn't matter where you go. Obviously, Dark Elves Faction Wars. She's going to make your team sturdier and easier, but you've already beaten it by the time you have her. So we'll show her in the arena. She is on one of my main arena teams. It's an odd team. Let me get in here. Let's start with a fresh fight. And basically, Necret is here to make sure that no matter what happens, my main damage dealer gets the job done. It is very hard to kill a hero when Necret's on your team. So he's going to go for your lowest HP. That's going to be my main damage dealer, Shazar. Of course, I'm just speed boosting with Arbiter. And she is here to debuff for Lord Shazar and protect us in case we got to go an extra round. So basically, we protect Lord, we speed up, we debuff the team. He gets the big hit in, the bombs finish the job, and even though it takes a second because I'm lapping him and all that, it's an easy 11-second fight. And you can beat teams that far outmatch you with this kind of build. Let's see. Oh, I thought that was that's not Skull Crown. That's her sister, Sinesha. But we'll just throw her through another fight real quick. Maybe one that beats us on speed. See, okay, they cut in, they beat us. And we'll show off Necret here, protecting us. We still got the debuff out. And then we bombed. We didn't even have to wait for the bombs. We just killed them. And that's only because she did all the debuffing, making Lord Shazar's hit do enough to actually take him out. So, how to get Lydia? That's tricky. Maybe I should go ahead and do all the faction guides on 21. If you want to see that, let me know because I can start working on it daily. I'm gonna run this weird poison team that may or may not work on 25. I just kind of want to see if her poison sensitivity adds anything to it. But I'm gonna be showing up on the side here the heroes that I used to beat each faction. Of course, I've got heroes now that make it much easier, but the ones I used to beat it, it might give you an idea. The basic formula is usually defense down, speed up, somebody who can heal or revive, somehow protect my team, and as much control as possible. We'll talk about bosses at the very end, and we'll just kind of zip through this and see if this even works.
Dying tree fantasy. Come talk to me. How did you get this way? I never thought I'd see the day. I tried so hard to bring you back. You're not Jesus Christ. You're not Jesus Christ. You're not Jesus Christ. I'm just gonna say it, say it. This isn't what we wanted. We never thought that it would come to this. And I'm just gonna say it, say it. You never really knew me. Stop pretending that you wanted to. Well, I'm just a man, flesh and blood. All I need is real love. Your ticket price is too damn high. I don't play with guns, 'cause bullet holes still remain. That don't mean I've changed. Bullet holes still remain. That don't mean I've changed. That don't mean I've changed. That don't mean I've changed. I'm just gonna say it, say it. This isn't what we wanted. We never thought that it would come to this. And I'm just gonna say it, say it. You never really knew me. Stop pretending that you wanted to. You got your gold streets ahead of you. You got your gold streets ahead of you, but you can't keep my name furthest from your mouth. You got your gold streets ahead of you. You got your gold streets ahead of you. You got your gold streets ahead of you. I can imagine what a weight you bear, but me, I'll be just fine. I'm just gonna say it, I'll say it. You never knew what love was. You lived your life with mouths of bitterness. And I'm just gonna say it, I'll say it. I used to think that you were right in this, but maybe you were wrong. I'm just gonna say it, I'll say it. This isn't what we wanted. We never thought that it would come to this. And I'm just gonna say it, I'll say it. Oh, you never really knew me. Stop pretending that you wanted to. That was a lot of poison damage. Okay.
So my computer just froze up. So how do you beat Faction Wars? What it really comes down to is perseverance. Like, you have to commit to it. You're going to have to build up heroes, gear them out, even if you didn't want to build that hero. People like Captain Tamila or Abyssal were my actual MVPs inside of Faction Wars. I wouldn't even want to build them or waste my resources if I were free to play trying to do it myself. But you have to build all these support champions, defense down champions, damage champions for each faction. That's why, as you saw, every faction had about 6 people built out. Plenty of them I beat with 550s, but they had decent gear on them, and they still do. So I can continue to run the level 21s. Now the bosses, it takes serious thinking. Sometimes AoE people, like I had to take Skull Crown. I had to put her in War Master to beat the boss. I had to have enough damage. Pitiless One was there strictly for damage. He's actually amazing at it, by the way. You have to gear them out as if you're going into in-game content to get that 3-star. You usually want a reviver. The boss specifically, I'm thinking about the boss that is on the end of Knight's Revenant. Very difficult. You have to out DPS him, so you can get creative. You can bring a lot of poison toxic sets to help tick damage and bypass his mechanic where he heals. You can try to put decrease max HP. That way, as you with destroy sets, as you're going, it can only heal up so far. It'll be a long fight, but at least you can get him whittled down. You got to be careful timing when you buff and when you debuff, because he likes to steal them and put them on you. So you got to be really careful. Pretty much got a manual through it. That was a lot of poison damage. No, thank you. All right. So if you want to see a guide on each level 21 every day, I could do one. If you kind of want to see how it works, if there are a few specific ones you're interested in, if enough of them pop up here in the comments, then I'll just do each one. Because daily I'll be able to do another one. But it is worth it. Lydia is worth it. So this has probably gone long. I'm going to go ahead and end it here. But I really think this is one of the things worth putting on your top priority list. If you're working on Clan Boss, I get that. If you're working on Doom Tower, I get that. But Lydia is going to help at least the Doom Tower or progression or speeding up dungeon runs. So she may be worth doing your Faction Wars ahead of some of the other things. Clan Boss and Arena, I could see being difficult to choose what you want to work on now, but it's a new year. Hopefully you're setting game resolutions, and getting her is definitely a good one. Faction Wars should be open very soon for Shadowkin. That means you'll have to be building them too. So I wanted to talk about her, how amazing she is, and what it takes to get her. Anyways, thanks for sitting through it, and until next time, enjoy the grind.